Hello people of the internet, it's Amanda, and for today's video we're here to talk about the Ichiban special dance clip full version video. Now the reason why I'm making this video is I feel like we're already at the tail end for the whole Made in Ichiban promotions, especially since Kinpuri already announced their next single just right after the album High, which is Trace Trace for Ren's Drama. Now what's interesting about this dance clip is as compared to their previous releases where the music video has a full version and then it has its dance version, this one is a limited time video, and at the same time the dance version, it's not exactly an extension of the music video. Before, the dance version and the music video has the same elements, but this one is more choreography focused, and it even has its own set which is not seen in the main music video. So this is really interesting, and at the same time they didn't lip sync for this as compared to the other dance version video. So again, this is quite fresh and new, even if the element or the dynamic of it is very similar to just having a dance version and the main music video. So yeah. It's interesting as well because the choreography that was in this particular video is quite unique to it, because it's not really fully realized in the actual music video that they released for Ichiban. They released the YouTube cut for this one as well, which I think is really nice, because it's a shame that people wouldn't be able to at least see how the entire vibe of Ichiban would be if it's a total dance video. So I really like that. And now we're gonna be talking about the full version of that dance clip. So let's do this. Now I'm currently on the special site right now, just gonna do full screen, and then we're gonna dissect the video as I usually did with the others. Now let's just pause it right there at the beginning. I have to say that I'm so sorry. I know that I absolutely love the set design for the main music video, especially the traditional vibe that they have going on for the chorus mixed with their more modern costume, which is again a symbol of, the balance between the Japanese style look or the heritage of what they're trying to say in this particular album, but at the same time the modern outfits also represent their vision, etc, the whole combination thing. But I do feel like I absolutely love this set a lot more. It's just simple and straightforward, but all the elements are there, and it really makes the red and the black in their outfits stand out a lot. And I don't know, there's just something very nice, classy and elegant about this particular set. And I don't know, I definitely, I love the original music video set, but after seeing this one, I know that this is, I prefer this a lot more. So yeah. That part right there, I've talked about this in my previous Ichiban videos. The energy that they put up in this particular production and this particular choreography is just on a different level, and it shows in their facial expressions, and I absolutely love that. You can just feel the intensity in the way that they're dancing this choreography. I absolutely love the contrast between Sho and Kaito in this one, because Kaito, he has his usual flair. You can see it in his face, that smile that he has. And then for Sho, there's just this certain boldness and fierceness in the way that he's moving, and just his expressions and movements. I think that the difference between the two of them has always been, Kaito is the one who's a lot more versatile, flexible in terms of the movement, and then Sho, he has this different dynamic, the power, and you can definitely see it in this video. But then at the same time, what I love is all of them actually are exuding that kind of flexibility and dynamic and strength that is before a lot more prominent when it comes to Sho and Kaito dancing. I'm gonna pinpoint certain parts later that explains exactly what I'm saying. The movements are just so nice and big. The extensions are really nice. the turns. I've been loving Jinguji's dancing recently. He shows a lot of attitude in his face in this particular video as well, and the spins. Again, later there's this particular dance move that I absolutely love that I've mentioned in my past Ichiban review videos as well, but I absolutely love the spin that they did here. Like, if Kaito definitely has that, you know, sleek dancer flair to him, there's a certain sturdiness to the way that Jin did his turn in this particular move that I really loved. And I don't know, there's just something so steady in the way that he did it that was just so smooth, so nice, so sharp, and I really like that. Oh. I've mentioned this before. I'm a shotan, so I usually have a lot of observations and things to say about shows dancing. One in particular that made Ichiban stand out for me is, again, before he has this like really nice cool dancer face that he has on whenever the choreography is serious. But then for Ichiban, he showed a lot of like just so many expressions that surprised me, even as a fan of, like, ever since Kinpuri started and debuted as a group. And it's just really exciting to me because I remember, like, it reminds me so much of this clip that I've seen of back when he was younger, and this was pre-Johnny's, and he was dancing, and he had this like same very strong hip-hop expression, like facial expressions that are so just amusing to see, and it's nice to see it come back for this particular choreography. And even hear that, you know, they're not exactly like lip syncing the words to the song. There's so much strength and expression that goes into like the movement and the style that goes into each step that they're pushing, especially for the solo parts, and not just for Sho, but for everybody else. It's so funny because someone pointed out that Kaito's blazer at first was unbuttoned, and so he was like, you can see like him showing off a lot of his arms in the start of the video. And then for some reason, I feel like it's because of the cut in between, you know, the edits and stuff, that his blazer suddenly got closed, and so, you know, we see less of that. But I feel like, again, in the live performances, since he has his blazer on, he tends to like swish and flip his jacket a lot, which adds a lot of like attitude into how he dances, and I feel like that's a lot more Kaito, but it's still very much prominent in the way that he does his expressions anyways. But I don't know, there's just something about the blazer flipping, even in the other performances that they've done of this song, that just adds so much to the feel of it, like the attitude of it. And I don't know, but yeah, just one thing to note out there. I think I've been saying this over and over, and I've noticed that especially when they entered around Risen's era, I think that Jin has really been improving a lot, vocally, dancing, the way he projects himself. There's just something about him that's just so eye-catching now that, you know, there's just something that suddenly intensified, especially when they enter the Risen's era, that makes him a lot more like just noticeable and out there. And I don't know, I just really like that, and I like how that really showed off and exuded a lot in this particular dance clip as well. And then for Ren, we all know Ren's face, absolutely beautiful, all those angles, everything. But there's just something about like Ren's kind of like style when it comes to his movements is, he has this level of like coolness in him, you know, this kind of like effortlessness in the movements that's just so nice, icy and cool sometimes, like the vibe of it, like it's not the kind of like icy that's arrogant or anything like that, but there's a certain level of wow, that's just so cool, effortless, you know, he has that kind of vibe. But for this one, I don't know what it is in this dance clip video that, you know, Ren just has this like certain flick to him, that it's not necessarily like the usual cool iciness that he usually has in the other videos, but it has this certain level of, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but a certain level of like flirtiness or attitude or flair. And I don't know, like there's just something, again, there's just something about this video that just has this like very, very different kind of like vibe. And then of course, Kishi is definitely, I like how Kishi is so consistent. Like even if, I mean, that's what I mentioned earlier, they weren't like, I feel like required to lip sync for this one, since this isn't a dance version of the music video but just a dance clip of it. But Kishi has been consistent in terms of mouthing out his lines, which I think is really, really cute. But at the same time, I'm not sure if I've mentioned it here on my channel, but I have mentioned it on Twitter before. Kishi is definitely one of my favorite dancers in Kinpuri, simply because he gets the balance between Kaito's flexibility and Sho's sturdiness and power when it comes to dancing. He provides that good balance in terms of the technicality of it, but also having his own unique flair. And I feel like, again, this song gave them an opportunity to create or to emphasize those styles, like the different styles that they've had, and also the result of their improvement in terms of them training and so many things. So like, yeah, there's just something in Ren's movement in this particular video that just amuses me so much. And again, there's just something so interesting about the way that Kinpuri is moving now. I mean, obviously, I am a fan, so I do have my biases. But then at the same time, like, I've really noticed their improvement, like, compared to, like, their past videos, where, I mean, they've done, like, dance versions of their songs before. But now there's a certain kind of... And I absolutely love how this work, because the choreography of Ichiban is really, like, you know, it's very technical, but at the same time, the very foundation of it, or the very core of it, is the harmony or the flow between the members, which I think I mentioned in a previous video before. And it just shows that because all of them have improved and elevated in terms of their skill, it just shows this different level of, it's not exactly synchronicity, but more of like life into the choreography. And I feel like, you know, that definitely leveled up the energy that went into how this dance clip turned out. So yeah. And again, I absolutely love how each of them, you know, they all have like this, they all have this like ability now to steal each other's spotlights without necessarily like keeping it, I don't know, way, but like in a good way, where someone will do something and they will steal the spotlight for that particular moment, and then someone else does something and you just notice each and every one of them doing their own thing to create this like holistic thing, to make the choreography like look like it's high level. And just general observation from someone who also loves just watching performances in general, I feel like Kinpuri is definitely evolving and improving on that particular aspect, where each of them hold on to the spotlight, but whenever there's like a collective need for them to all just shine, they make it work as well. And it really shows in terms of the choreography, high choreography or high level types of dances that they do now. Okay. This one, favorite move, I've talked about this before, the crazy legs, absolutely love that. Sorry. Okay, let's move on. This part I've talked about before. I absolutely love that leg movement right there. The synchronicity in that, like, it's still not 100% crisp and perfect, but they got the snappiness of it right. And I don't know, I'm just really, really happy how they did that. Even if it's just 0.5 seconds or not even as a part of the whole choreography. I also love the whole like domino effect kind of thing that went into this particular part. And again, that's the reason why, as I mentioned in my other videos before, for me, synchronicity isn't that big of a deal. It's not just for kinpuri, but for other groups as well. What I want is to see the attitude and the personality of the members that are dancing a certain choreography. And Ichiban definitely, for me, did that for kinpuri. Like, you kind of see each of their styles, their flair into the choreography. And it doesn't necessarily have to be that perfect technical wise, because the dance itself is already technical, but just again seeing the differences in terms of how they move. Like as I mentioned earlier with Kaito, he has a different style with Sho in terms of dancing. And then for Jin, now he definitely improved in terms of his facial expressions, like the sturdiness in his movements, his snappiness. Kishi with his own like unique flair. There's just something about his movements that combines Sho and Kaito's style, but at the same time it's still very unique to him in terms of his facial expressions. And then for Ren has this like nice smooth cool vibe, but for this one there also is something a little bit more flirty and flary in it that is a lot softer, but not in a bad way, like softer, which is a good contrast in terms of how sharp some of the other members' movements are. So there's definitely a good balance right now that really shone through in this particular choreography. And I keep saying it, but I just really like how this turned out. And I do understand why in the solo versions of the members they didn't go with just, you know, solo angles of them dancing the choreography, because this choreography works really well with all 5 of them driving to it. So yeah. This is off choreography, I think, but I forgot if I mentioned earlier. I think I've tweeted about this, that I actually prefer this costume a lot more on Sho than the costume that he has in the main music video. I don't know why, but I do feel like the red and the black is a lot stronger. Like the look is a lot stronger. I know that they're going for like a different dynamic in the main music video. I'm not saying that that's not a good look, because it is, but for me, I just prefer this outfit a lot, like this vibe a bit more. I know that there's not a lot of difference. For me, I don't know, this is just a lot stronger. I do feel like the outfit fits the choreography a lot more in terms of energy. And yeah, I just want to like mention that. Yeah. I'm so sorry, but I think I just need a moment to breathe after that. I mean, I've seen this, I don't know, a lot of times, but I still need moments. Anyway. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. There's just something about Kishi's movements that, and I think Sho was the one who described it in like an interview, like when he was talking about, you know, the movements of the members that he envies a lot. He said that, you know, for him, Kishi has this like sexy vibe to him, and I feel like it has to do a lot with his expressions. Like Kishi just has this like really nice, cool kind of vibe whenever he's dancing as well, and it shows a lot in the way that he does his expressions. And I feel like, again, it really was emphasized and maximized in this particular video. And again, I like how it's not about the uniformity of like the movements. Each of them still has like their own flair to it, you know. Ren is just so pretty to look at. Sometimes it's so annoying. But this one, wait, I just have to like move it again. Every time I see this one, I just feel the beat of it because of Cho's movements. Like the beat of that song, for my fellow Filipinos out there, you know how it is when you ride a jeepney and then the bass of the speakers of the jeepney is just so loud. You can hear your chest actually pounding at the sound of the music. That is what that feels to me every time I see that. So yeah. Again, energy, all the hair whipping is just so exciting for me to see. And I don't know, I just absolutely love, again, I love this set a lot more. I like the energy, I like the vibe that they're just exuding here. Like the movements are still very nice and big, even if, you know, the movement should just be, you know, chilling and vibing and relaxing, but there's just definitely a lot of like control, a lot of just flair that went into that last part, and then they relax into this, and yeah, that's that. So I mean, this video to me, like this release to me is so good. Like I've mentioned it in my made in video that the album itself, I do feel like the main tracks Ichiban and Dream In set a lot of expectations, and therefore when I heard the rest of the B-side songs, I wasn't exactly as impressed by it as compared to recents. But the lead tracks, especially Ichiban, is definitely one of like the releases that Kinpuri had that I just want, like, set a different standard for me. I mean, they've been doing it with their other releases, but I definitely feel like this is definitely one of my favorites that they've done, simply because the dynamic is just so different from their past releases, and the skills and the efforts and the training that they all went through, it's very prominent in the way that this video was just so elevated, and their skills and their presence in the video is just so elevated that I don't know, like it makes me excited for their next release that would have the same level of caliber of like skill that is needed. And yeah, but I absolutely love Ichiban, and I do feel like it's definitely one of their releases that really captured what they're aiming for as a group, and at the same time, like the way that they keep on evolving, because it's just 4 years, but this, like, it just so shows so much in terms of technicality, in terms of just the artistry and delivery of this particular video, and I don't know, I just absolutely love it. So yeah, so tell me down in the comments below, what are your thoughts on this particular video? I'll be linking the special dance clip YouTube edit down in the description so that you can check it out. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel and you would want to hear more from me, please hit subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon in a new one. Bye!